Now that that's all heated up, what we're going to do is we're going to take our very, very lightly salted, initially salted potatoes we're going to put in, and we should hear a nice little fry. Alright, that's the sound that we're looking for. We're going to put all these guys in just like that. Want to make sure to flatten this out. Flatten them out. Get them in there. Nice and sweet. Automatically get your utensil that you're going to use out. I absolutely love the wooden spoon. There's nothing better than it with this. As that's frying, what we're going to be able to do here, be able to cut up the onion. You're going to be able to see some of these little techniques that I was showing you before. You are a superstar. This is an old onion, so I'm just going to cut the end off of this. Get rid of that too. Now, in all honesty, I actually want some pretty big. Pieces here, so I'm just going to quarter this and then pick about a square that I want. And we're good to go here. Good to go there. And a couple of different sizes. So this guy off. Has been going on for a little while. What we're going to do is we're just going to toss it. This is where we can get some of our work in. Have a nice scapular effect, and we'll be able to flip that guy in no time. This guy might be about, I don't know how heavy it is, but it's not light. We still have this on pretty high. We still want to get that nice crispness so we can lock some of that moisture inside. Typically, bitter Brussels sprout, but what you're going to learn tonight is that we're going to be able to treat it with just a little bit of sweetness. And it's really going to be treated nice. And sweetness and a little bit of spice. So I'm just taking the ends off of these. The ends are, chewy. They're the part that's actually connected to the rest of the plant. Take it off kind of like a foot of a scallop. Just like that. Here. Slice again, finger placement, bang, done. Fantastic. Alright, all those guys are done. I'm going to come over here, check this guy again. Ooh, there we go. Now we're starting to see a little bit of that browning. Nice. Alright, once you start to see a little bit of that browning in some of these, just a tiny little bit of that browning. What we're going to do is now, we're going to take the qualities that we have in this cast iron, which is to be able to control the heat very, very quickly. And we're going to completely change the aspect. We're going to turn this from a frying situation where no heat is coming from the top, all the heat is actually leaving, so it gets hotter, it gets cooler as it goes up. And we're actually going to turn it into a bit of an oven. By doing that, keep it on high for a few, and then bring that down nice and low. You want to take a look, make sure that your heat is at the right level, that you're nice and comfortable with that. And we're going to let that go for a little bit. Okay, and while you're gone, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these Brussels sprouts ready. Hey, I'm going to get these Brussels sprouts ready for the next step, and we'll see you in a second. Excellent. Through the magic of camera, my refreshing beverage has entirely been replenished for the rest of the cook. here, and it's getting a little bit hot in the kitchen right now. As that's getting a little bit, we already talked about how hot it was in here before, but I'm actually going to put my hair up in a second. Anybody that has long hair, probably a better idea to do that at the beginning, before you cook. I'll recommend that as a health hazard. It's a good thing I'm just cooking for my staff tonight. So I'll put the hair up, make sure none of it extra gets in the food. Take a peek. We've got a really nice smell coming from over here. Everything's kind of calmed down. Every now and then you hear a little piece of water drop down and fry in there. These would be very difficult to get all the way into. All right. As far as the heat is concerned, so them being cooked, it's not. Plus, it's a little bit festive to have some green, you know, floating around. So as some of this comes off, you're going to have some of that stuff that's going to be nice and fun to eat later. Instead of just your typical, you know, potatoes and onions, there'll be a nice leafy vegetable in there for you. They'll just come out like that. This way, they'll cook quicker. It's going to be a little bit easier for you. Try to have a leafy vegetable with your dinner each night. What the leafy vegetable does for your system is actually lays a nice little platform for the rest of your food to be able to digest. It sets up your body's ability to metabolize. Kind of just lays a nice gentle foundation, warms up your metabolism, gets it ready for the heartier things like meat and potatoes, which we will be having tonight. Now, the great thing about adding a vegetable right now is that when you have any vegetable, vegetables are extraordinarily, particularly green vegetables, extraordinarily high content of water. So what we're going to be able to do is we're going to add this right on top. Okay, none of it's actually going to go down and touch that yet, touch the oil yet. We're going to add this right on top, just like that. And what we're going to do again is we're going to pre-salt. Before any of the juices come out of this thing, we're going to just salt it just a tiny little bit. And like I said, my pepper on ice cream, I will put pepper on everything. There it is, bang. And what we're going to do now is we're going to turn it back over. Now, as the heat starts to fog, as the heat starts to build, what we're going to see is the moisture will release from some of the vegetables, and it'll get very, very, very warm and hot and moist in there, which is going to keep the potatoes nice and moist. Will keep everything moist. Let's talk about what you're looking for here. Come on over. What we're looking for is we're looking for your typical green vegetable wilt. What'll happen is it'll ultimately change in color. You can see that as we put that in there, there's a very, very fresh color. The greens were light, and as these guys start to cook and the moisture gets released, ultimately the pigment condenses and the vegetables get darker. Guys did, but I just went and spent a nice little couple of minutes out on the back porch with a loved one myself. We're going to come and finish this. As we walk back into the house, oh my gosh, the aroma really took over the olfactory system there up in our nose, and we're going to be able to add the finishing touches right on this dish right now. That smell, now we can really see that these guys have wilted to a nice almost brown. They're melting in our mouth. Last thing that we want to do is we're going to turn this way high, and we're going to mix. Okay, these guys are nice and brown. side up. Alright, now when everything's really very wet, this is when I add the nice salt, okay? I got a good, nice, very fresh pink rock salt in here. Then I'm going to salt to taste. I know it's got to take about 7 of those. I'm going to do the same thing with the pepper at the last minute. And then whatever else it is that you want to add right now, I'm a huge fan of this Greek oregano brought back from a backyard in Greece, just outside of Athens. And the last thing that we want to do is, you have a sour in there, we have a nice salty, we want to grab one more, we have a little bit of a savory in the potato. But what we're going to do now is we're going to add just a teeny tiny little bit of sweet in this balsamic. Very, very nice balsamic vinegar. We're going to pour just a tiny little drizzle right into the middle there. You're going to feel it start to fry up a little bit, and we're going to get everything right around it. Okay, very, very high. Again, everything's on high right now. So we're going to let that balsamic caramelize, get around all this. Just like that. Perfect. And we're going to turn it off. We're going to turn it off, take it off the heat. Now it's going to take a little bit for this to cool down. So what we can do is we can find a nice serving dish for this. Serving dish for us. I'm going to put this right over here. Go. Gotta have muscles to make this one go. I'll serve it right in there. Excellent. And here we go. That is the end of our dish. Nice moving, just real quick. Take this. 1, 2, bang. Get all the food out of there. That's how quick that goes. And we're going to take our grease rag, alright, that's filled with the grease of the week. And what we're going to do is we're just going to rub the whole entire thing down. There it is. And the best place that I have for these, you can see that beautiful shine right there. It's a beautiful cast iron stove. And that's that. Well, thanks so much. I hope that you're going to enjoy this little creation that we had tonight. Again, the great thing about this, you got your green vegetable, you have a really fantastic carbohydrates. You got a little bit of fat in the only in the olive oil, which is fantastic fat for you. It's what I would put into the fat-burning fat category to make it simple and understood. And we just really have salt, pepper, and maybe a couple of little spices. It's just really going to be a nice little thing. And if you want later, when it cools all the way down, or if we aren't able to eat all of this, you can really very quickly take a small dollop of, some nice mustard and a larger dollop of mayonnaise, and turn this into a really fantastic salad. If you had some of the potato salad, if you had some of the old Brussels sprouts left over, you could actually chop those up really fine and give it a really great texture, or just add celery to it. So thanks so much for joining us on Real Men Cook with Cast Iron tonight, and we'll see you next episode.